Over a year ago, I made a video on a tank which at the time was the king of the rank 6 premiums. This of course was the Leopard L44. It had thermals, a high power round and SAKO battle rating 8.7, allowing it to absolutely dominate all of the matches it fought in. Now however, with the introduction of new premiums, as well as changes in the meta, is the German Leopard L44 premium still worth the investment? Alright lads, today I'm going to be talking about the performance, weapons and playstyle of the Leopard A1A1 L44. Starting as always with the basics, this vehicle is a rank 6 battle rating 9.0 main battle tank located in the German tech tree. Being a rank 6 premium, it will be effective at researching all of the vehicles between the ranks of 1 and 7, allowing you to grind out every tank currently in the German tech tree. To unlock this tank, you'll have to purchase from a pack on the Guardian store. For the cost of €60, you get the tank, 2,000 golden eagles and 15 days of premium time. Additionally, after buying this pack, you have the additional cost of 10,000 silver lions to train the crew. To purchase the expert and ace qualifications for the tank, it will cost you 1,120,000 silver lions and 2,200 golden eagles respectively. The tank is also fairly economically friendly to play, only having a repair cost of 4,020 silver lions. Moving on to the rewards, and the Leopard has a base modifier of 2.26, so you can expect a 452% modifier with a free to play account and 678% with a premium account. You also have a base silver line modifier of 1.4, the highest available for a premium in the game at the minute, giving you a base silver line modifier of 280% with a free to play account and 420% with a premium account. In terms of customization, there are several camouflages available to purchase for golden eagles, as well as 2 skins located on the Gaijin marketplace. In terms of lineups, there are a wealth of competitive vehicles between the battle rating 9.0 to 9.3 German lineup, including the Leopard 1A5, C2A1, KPZ70 and the Radkampfwagen 90 to name a few. In this video we're going to cover the mobility, armour and firepower of the vehicle before finishing with a conclusion. If you do like these reviews, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. The Leopard L44 is powered by an engine producing 830 horsepower. Combined with the tank's weight of 43 tons, it gives the tank a power to weight ratio of 19.3 horsepower per ton. This is pretty good, but nothing exceptional. While it's higher than the short Caudalette and the T55AM, it's a little bit short of the high power to weight ratios of the XM1 and AMX30 Super. Regardless of the mid-range power to weight ratio, the Leopard is actually capable of a pretty high top speed of 65 km/h, but on rough terrain such as mud or grass, that top speed is realistically only around 43 km/h. This rather average top speed, as well as a somewhat mediocre power to weight ratio, does leave the tank feeling quite sluggish on rough or soft terrain. The tank is also capable of reversing at a speed of 25 km on all terrains. Being a NATO vehicle, the tank can neutral steer and has relatively good low speed manoeuvrability. Overall, the Leopard L44 represents the middle of the line when it comes to premium tank mobility. It's more capable than the T55AM, short Caudalette and the Type 74G, but the Leo's mobility is outclassed by the performance of the OF40, XM1 and AMX30 Super. The T72AV is surprisingly similar in terms of performance to the Leo, being slightly slower but getting the better firepower, armour and thermal imaging. A good demonstration of the power creep that has come to War Thunder within the space of a single year. Okay, moving on to the armour and survivability, and the first thing to mention is that this tank is a crew of 4 men. While this normally would give you relatively good survivability, as you can see the crew are all conveniently lined up. The driver, gunner and commander are in a nice straight line on the left hand side of the tank. This makes you a one-shot kill for pretty much any high penetration round hitting the left hand side of your vehicle, and it's no better if you take a round in the right hand side either. As you can see, you have both your first stage ammunition storage and your primary magazine located to the right of the loader and to the right of the driver respectively. This gives the Leopard an overall pretty poor survivability rating, as there is a very good chance of penetrating round will instantly kill the vehicle, no matter the direction of that incoming round. Moving on to the arm performance itself, and to test this, we'll be using the 3BM42 Manga round as fired by the T72AV terms. Starting as always with the lower frontal plate, and as you can see we have around 90mm of armour protection, good enough to stop autocannons, but not high power ammunition. Moving to the upper plate, and our protection increases up towards 130mm armour. The turret however is no better. This isn't a Leopard 2 variant, and it's still incredibly squishy, with your cheek only providing around 190mm of armour at the thickest. Moving inwards towards the gun mantlet, and protection drops sharply, down to around 70mm of armour. If we turn the camera to the side of the vehicle, our hull provides a pretty much constant 33mm of thickness, making it incredibly vulnerable against fast-firing Soviet autocannons. Moving up to the side of the turret, and our protection ranges from 100mm down to around 60mm at the end of the turret. And finally, the rear of the turret provides 50mm of armour, and the rear of the hull provides just 30mm of armour. Overall, the armour of the Leopard L44 is pretty terrible. Just like the other Leopard 1 variants, they were produced at a time when it was thought the existence of heat effects made all armour redundant. With the advent of composite armour, however, this idea was dismissed, and the early main battle tanks were left playing catch up. This poor survivability means, unlike its bigger 2A5 brothers, it was unable to work ridgelines and hills effectively, due to pretty much anything being able to punch right through it. Instead, this tank should be played as a pop out, fire, and then relocate kind of tank, as it cannot match the heavier Soviet tank when it comes to trading hits. Moving on to the weapons and ammunition, and as you can see, this Leopard is armed with the 120mm L44 cannon, the same gun as found on the Leopard 2A4 and the 2A5. Like the other German vehicles, it has very good vertical guidance characteristics, with 9 degrees of gun depression and 20 degrees of elevation. This gives you the ability to utilise hills and ridge lines, but with your rather weak turret armour as I mentioned earlier, this isn't exactly a recommended strategy. While you are a Leopard, your turret cheeks are nowhere near as thick as your older Leopard 2A5 brother. You can carry 41 rounds into battle in total, but only 11 of those rounds are classed as first stage ammunition stored next to the loader. For safety reasons, I wouldn't recommend taking more than 20 rounds into a battle in this vehicle. So taking a look at the reloading skill under the loader section, and you can see that we have a base reload speed of 8.7 seconds, which drops down to 6.7 seconds with an ace crew. This is actually very good. It gives you the same reload speed as the 105mm NATO guns found at the same battle rating, all whilst carrying a more powerful cannon with a pretty decent ammunition load. Moving on to the targeting skill under the gunner section, and we can see that you have a base turret rotation speed of 16.8 degrees per second, which rises to 24 degrees per second with an ace crew. While better than the Soviet tanks, it still lags behind the American and French premium tanks. We next move on to the modifications, and I want to point out that this tank gets access to a laser rangefinder, as well as first generation thermal imaging for the gunner sight, but the commander still only receives night vision. You do however have a pretty good field of view in the gunner sight, as well as a base 4x zoom and an optional 12x zoom, giving you similar optics to the T-80U, well known for its long range killing power. Moving on to the ammunition, and we have 2 rounds available, with 1 stock and 1 unlockable. Your first shell is the DM12 Heater Fest round. It travels at 1140 meters per second and can penetrate 480mm of armour. This round is certainly playable at battle rating 9.0, as most vehicles aren't using composite armour yet, so using this stock shell is a relatively cheap way of playing the tank. Your main round, however, is a DM13 APF-SDS shell. This is what is known as a short rod penetrator, meaning it has very little post-penetration spalling. If you want to know how to determine this for yourself, check the thickness of the armour on the ammo icon. You can see here that the DM13 has a narrow strip of armour. Comparing this to DM53, you can see that the armour is much thicker, indicating more spalling. The DM13 shell can penetrate 393mm of flat armour, and against armour angled at 60 degrees, it can still penetrate 227mm of armour. This penetration, as well as a muzzle velocity of 1650 meters per second, make it very good for sniping. Overall, the Leopard L44 has a very powerful weapon system for a battle rating 9.0 vehicle. It even manages well when taking on larger, more heavily armoured 9.7 vehicles. But if you are voluntarily up-tiering this tank to 10.0 or 10.3 or higher, facing the new Russian top tier, it is rather weak against the hull and turret fronts of the Soviet vehicles. While the thermal imager used to be the main selling point of this tank, pretty much all nations now have several thermal equipped tanks, both tech tree and premium variants. So one of the biggest advantages this tank used to have a year ago is now not really worth mentioning. To conclude, the Leopard A1A1 L44 is a very good premium, but it isn't what it used to be. It has been overshadowed by the introduction of several other vehicles, both in the tech tree and as premiums. These newer vehicles have significantly changed the meta. Back when my old video was made, the L44 was at battle rating 8.7 and now it's at 9.0. But a good chunk of the German rank 6 lineup is at battle rating 9.3, which means you get dragged up from 9.0 to 9.3, and frequently even up to battle rating 9.7. While by no means bad in these games, they just aren't particularly unique or special anymore. The tech tree Leopard 1A5 sits at the same battle rating, has more powerful ammunition, and more importantly, it doesn't cost €60 to play. For the price of €60, I don't think that this is one of the best top tier premiums anymore. It just isn't as good value for money as the T72AV terms, which outclasses it in everything apart from reverse speed. The increase in firepower and mobility at top tier has also led to this tank being unsuitable to bring along as backup with your Leopard 2A5s or the 2A6s. Similar to the way the Germans tried to bring along their pre-dreadnoughts at Jutland, the L44 is now just too slow to be competitive alongside its larger brothers. While the Leopard L44 is still more than capable of killing any tank it will meet on the battlefield, gone are the days of the battle rating 9.0 German lineup being blatantly overpowered. While there is still a place for this vehicle in the German lineup, I would not say it is worth €60. Alright lads, thank you very much for watching this video. What do you guys think about this vehicle? If you have any questions or suggestions to improve the channel, then please feel free to leave a comment below. I'd also like to mention that I now have a Patreon, so if you'd like to support me, then the link is in the description. I also have a Twitter account, and I can be found at the handle SAKO Sniper. On top of this, I also have a second channel where I upload live commentary and other non-War Thunder content. So if you like more laid back videos, then my second channel may be more your thing. If you do enjoy these reviews, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing, but more importantly lads, I hope you have a great day and thank you very much for watching.